putting him on trial for denying the pontiff's legitimacy.
Archbishop Viganò, once a highly respected figure within the church, has become a controversial personality. Known for his outspoken criticisms of Pope Francis and other church leaders, Viganò's actions have led him to face serious allegations of schism, and things are getting quite dark. So what exactly does this mean for the bishop? And more importantly, what does this mean for the church? Well, you might want to stick around right until the end to find out. But before we get to the good stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button to make God the biggest channel in the world, and so that you can say you were here before we hit 100k. Archbishop Carlo Maria Viganò has had a long and distinguished career within the Catholic Church. Appointed as the Apostolic Nuncio to the United States in 2011, Viganò has held various influential positions. However, his public denunciations of Pope Francis and other church authorities have brought him into conflict with the Vatican. The allegations against Viganò primarily stem from his open letters and speeches, which many church leaders view as divisive and undermining church unity. These actions have led to charges of schism, a grave offense in the Catholic Church. In Catholic doctrine, schism isn't just dissent. It's a rupture, a fracture in the very fabric of faith. It's the formal breaking from the authority of the Pope, severing communion with the Church's faithful. History bears witness to such divisions. The Great Schism of 1054 split Christianity into East and West, echoing through centuries of theological debate and political intrigue, which split Christianity into the Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches. This event was driven by deep theological, political, and cultural differences. The Western Schism of the late 14th century, with rival popes vying for legitimacy, plunged Europe into chaos, a medieval drama where power and piety clashed, where a bunch of individuals claimed to be the true pope. The crisis began after the death of Pope Gregory XI, when the College of Cardinals elected Urban VI as his successor. However, due to Urban VI's volatile temperament, a faction of cardinals declared his election invalid and elected Clement VII as an alternative pope, who established his papacy in Avignon, France. And this led to a situation where two rival popes, one in Rome and the other in Avignon, each had their own set of supporters among European monarchs and clergy. The schism created immense confusion and division within the church, undermining its authority and leading to political and theological conflicts. Each schism has profoundly impacted the church's structure, beliefs, and unity. Schisms illustrate the significant and lasting impact that divisions within the church can have on its structure, beliefs, and unity. They highlight the importance of addressing dissent and maintaining cohesion within the faith community. In contemporary times, the Catholic Church remains vigilant against schisms. But today, in the hallowed halls of the church, a new chapter unfolds. Enter Archbishop Viganò. His accusations echo through the corridors of power. Allegations of cover-ups, moral failings, and doctrinal disputes grip the faithful and the curious alike. Accusations not just against individuals, but against the very direction of the church itself. Whispers of agendas and ideologies that threaten the foundation of faith. Archbishop Viganò's journey from respect to controversy unfolds against this backdrop. His calls for resignations and reforms resonate deeply within a divided church. But there's something even more interesting going on here.
An 11-page letter released this weekend, Viganò claims Pope Francis knew several years ago and ignored allegations against the former Washington, D.C. Archbishop, Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. McCarrick was accused of sexually harassing and abusing young adult seminarians, as well as sexually abusing two boys decades ago. McCarrick resigned last month. In his letter, which offered no evidence for the accusation about the pontiff, Viganò urged Pope Francis to step down. Yesterday, in response, Francis told reporters to read the document carefully and judge it for themselves.
Archbishop Carlo Maria Viganò, once a respected figure within the church, ignited a firestorm in August 2018 with a daring open letter. Viganò's words pierced through the Vatican's veil of silence like a thunderclap. His revelations didn't just challenge authority, they unveiled a web of secrecy and intrigue within the church's highest echelons. As his accusations spread like wildfire, they sparked a global debate, stirring passions and shaking the very pillars of faith and governance. Viganò's bold stance thrust him into the spotlight, where controversy and mystery now swirl, demanding answers and reshaping the church's narrative. And that's not even the most shocking part.
Debate continues over the Archbishop Viganò's letter, which called for Pope Francis' resignation over the alleged cover-up in the Theodore McCarrick abuse scandal. The letter, released last Saturday, claims Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI sanctioned former Cardinal McCarrick nearly 10 years ago, but that Pope Francis supposedly rehabilitated him. This has become one of the key details in the letter yet to be proven. It comes as our Edward Pinton spoke to Viganò this week about the fallout.
That the Pope kind of remonstrated with him and said he didn't want ideological bishops in the United States, he wanted moderate ones, and he said he was very stern and really quite strong. In the video, it doesn't get that far. It cuts off just before he starts talking, but they seem...
But his accusations didn't stop there. Viganò has issued several public letters and statements critiquing not just the handling of sexual abuse cases, but also the theological direction of Pope Francis's papacy. He has accused the Pope of promoting a pro-gay ideology and of undermining traditional Catholic teachings on marriage, family, and sexuality. Viganò's criticisms of Pope Francis extend beyond allegations of misconduct, delving into a fierce critique of what he views as a dangerous drift towards progressive theology. He argues vehemently that these shifts are eroding the Church's bedrock doctrines, sounding alarms that reverberate through the halls of Vatican authority. His bold stance is not just dissent. It's seen by many as a direct challenge to papal authority and the very unity of the Church itself. Amidst accusations of doctrinal deviations, Viganò has also leveled damning charges of corruption and moral lapses against top church officials. These explosive allegations have set media outlets ablaze and fractured the Catholic community. Supporters rally behind Viganò's clarion call for reform, seeing him as a crusader for transparency and purity within the Church. Yet, others view his actions as perilously divisive, potentially leading to schism. In response to the seismic impact of Viganò's claims, the Catholic Church faces a critical juncture. Canon law, notably Canon 1373, stands as a beacon of justice, outlining severe penalties for those who sow discord or disobedience against the Apostolic See. This legal framework forms the backbone of the church trial now underway, a pivotal moment poised to determine the fate of Archbishop Viganò and the course of Catholicism itself. Archbishop Carlo Maria Viganò has ventured beyond the confines of traditional religious discourse into the realm of conspiracy theories, igniting a firestorm of controversy and intrigue. Amidst the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, Viganò has boldly asserted that the crisis is not merely a health emergency but a calculated move towards global tyranny. His fiery rhetoric accuses governments of exploiting the pandemic to impose draconian measures that erode personal liberties and pave the way for totalitarian regime. These assertions, resonating with dissenters skeptical of official narratives, have sparked fierce debates and captured global attention. But let's take a pause for a moment, because things are about to get even more interesting. Beyond pandemic politics, Viganò's alignment with far-right ideologies has further fueled the controversy. His vocal support for nationalist movements and leaders advocating for conservative values has drawn both fervent admiration and vehement condemnation. By framing these positions as a defense of Christian principles against perceived threats, Viganò has positioned himself at the center of ideological battles, challenging mainstream Catholic perspectives and stirring deep divisions within the Church and society. Viganò has a reputation for controversy. Another scandal which shook the Vatican to the core in 2012 is the Vatileaks scandal. It was a cloak and dagger saga that began with the clandestine actions of Paolo Gabriele, Pope Benedict XVI's trusted butler, who smuggled out confidential papers exposing deep-seated corruption, financial scandals, and bitter power struggles within the Vatican's inner sanctum. The documents, ranging from private correspondences to detailed accounts of financial mismanagement, lifted the veil on a world of intrigue and controversy. The scandal reverberated across global media, stirring public outrage and fueling demands for accountability. Behind closed doors, the Vatican launched a desperate hunt for the whistleblower while facing mounting pressure to address the systemic issues laid bare by the leaks. The affair exposed fault lines within the church, pitting reformists against defenders of tradition and raising fundamental questions about the church's governance and moral authority. Paolo Gabriel's subsequent trial became a courtroom drama that captivated the world, culminating in his conviction for theft, but also sparking debates on justice, transparency, and the limits of loyalty within the Vatican walls. The fallout from Vatican leaks continues to reverberate within the Catholic Church, shaping ongoing efforts for reform and reminding believers and skeptics alike of the challenges of faith and governance in the modern age. It has been implied that Viganò is heavily involved with this scandal, as it seems to be in his nature to expose the secrets of the church. His embrace of the third position movement, known for its staunch nationalism and rejection of both capitalism and communism, has thrust him into the heart of ideological battles, stirring fervent support and fierce opposition alike. Beyond theological disputes, Viganò has ventured into the realm of global politics and the COVID-19 pandemic, where his assertions of sinister global conspiracies and draconian governmental overreach have sparked international attention. His outspoken critiques of pandemic policies, often seen as encroachments on personal freedoms, have resonated with skeptics worldwide, while simultaneously drawing sharp rebukes for their potential to sow misinformation and distrust. In navigating these contentious issues, Archbishop Viganò continues to wield influence and provoke reactions that ripple across continents. His willingness to challenge established norms and champion divisive causes underscores his role as a polarizing figure in both religious and secular arenas, shaping the discourse of our times with unyielding zeal and unwavering conviction. The trial for schism takes place in the sacred halls of the Catholic Church, with a seriousness that is resonant with centuries of church tradition. This trip through the halls of canonical justice was not just an average one for Archbishop Carlo Maria Viganò, rather it was a dramatic tale of faith, indictment, and examination. The trial began among the high ceilings and in front of appointed judges and legal specialists. Hearings that dragged on for months were characterized by intense sessions during which witnesses and evidence were revealed. The weight of the accusations grew heavier in the air as passionate defenses and persuasive arguments reverberated throughout the rooms. The judges deliberate behind closed doors, striking a delicate balance between church teaching, canon law, and the serious ramifications of the accusations in question. Every choice they made had to weigh the weight of preserving church unity against the intricate details of a case that captivated believers and onlookers alike. And when the gravel eventually dropped, a decision was made that would undermine Archbishop Viganò's standing in the church going forward. The trial's repercussions extended much beyond its boundaries, signifying not only a trial for one individual, but also a reaffirmation of the church's dedication to justice and doctrinal integrity. The trial aims to address whether Viganò's actions constitute schism and if they have harmed the unity and authority of the church. If found guilty, the consequences could be severe, including excommunication, which stands as a formidable ecclesiastical decree within the Catholic Church, casting out individuals from the community of believers with solemn severity. It is the ultimate censure wielded to correct grave offenses against church teachings and authority. When excommunicated, one is cut off from participating in the sacraments, symbols of spiritual grace and community connection, such as the Eucharist and confession. This act, both symbolic and profound, serves a dual purpose: to uphold the purity of church doctrine and discipline while beckoning the excommunicated to reflect, repent, and seek reconciliation. The severe penalty may be imposed for a spectrum of reasons, including heresy, where beliefs counter fundamental church doctrines, schism, marking defiance against the Pope's authority, apostasy, the formal renunciation of faith, and for serious transgressions like abortion or sacrilegious acts. Yet, excommunication does not signify a permanent severance from salvation. Rather, it underscores the gravity of the offense and invites sincere contrition. the pathway to redemption remains open, awaiting the penitent's genuine repentance and the ecclesiastical authorities' compassionate review to lift this weighty sanction. As Archbishop Viganò continues to voice his unorthodox views, he remains a lightning rod for controversy, navigating a turbulent landscape where faith, politics, and global events collide. His journey underscores the evolving role of religious leaders in shaping public discourse and confronting the complex challenges of our times with fervor and conviction. Yet, amidst the tumult, questions linger. Will the trial reveal schism or mere dissent? Will unity prevail, or will the fabric of faith be torn further? Leave your thoughts down below on what you think the outcome of the trial would be. If you made it all the way to this part in the video, you may qualify for our membership, so you might want to listen closely. It's an exclusive